Salisbury steak. How many times as a kid, man, did you eat that little banquet dinner? And Salisbury steak and the mashed taters and the corn. Man, I tell you what, I ate plenty of those. That's why this is one of the classic Southern comfort foods ever. It takes me back to my childhood, and I tell you what, there's really nothing better, especially homemade. I guarantee you this is not going to be a TV dinner that you buy in the store, which you can still buy nowadays. But I tell you what, come along with me. Let me show you how to do this. I tell you what, you won't be sorry. First thing I'm going to do is I've got me some 1 pound of 80/20 ground chuck, and we're going to go ahead and season that. I've got, about 2 tablespoons of Lipton onion soup mix, about 1/4 cup of Italian seasoning, and we're just going to kind of mix this up with your hands, get it in there, and we're going to form our patties with this. One thing I forgot to mention, I also added about 1/4 cup of whole milk in there. Once you get your hamburger meat mixed with all of your ingredients, go ahead and just kind of separate that into 4s and just kind of form lightly. You don't want to overwork your meat. If you've watched any of my other videos when you're dealing with hamburger meat, the more you knead this thing, the tougher it gets. So you just form your patties like that. Give it just a little dredge and some flour. That'll help crust up this when we put it in a skillet, and set it aside on a plate. Let me get these other ones done and we'll get them in the skillet, guys. Our oil is starting to shimmy a little bit. Last thing I want to do is generously salt and pepper one side of my Salisbury steak patties, and we'll go ahead and we'll lay them in the oil. Always lay your patties away from you, and we're going to brown these. We're not going to cook them, we're just going to brown them. We're not going to cook them all the way through because they'll finish in the slow cooker. So flour is just going to help to give them a real good crust. We'll give them a couple of minutes on each side, then we'll give them a flip. Lipton patties, you see the nice crust they've got on them. Hit it with a little bit more salt and a little bit more pepper. We'll give them a couple more minutes. We'll plate those up and we'll start making our sauce. The patties are crusted on both sides. We're going to just plate them up and set them aside while we make our sauce and we cook our onions. I cook those on medium-high heat. I'm going to reduce it to low. And this is where all this good stuff from this meat and the oil, I'm going to add onions. And we're going to saute these onions until they become golden brown color and soften up a little bit on low heat. And while they're doing that, let's get to our sauce. As far as our sauce, what I want to do, I'm going to take a can of cream of mushroom soup. Just throw that in a bowl. I normally use mushrooms when I'm making Salisbury steak, but I figured I'll get a little creaminess in here going, so I use me some soup today. Alright, that I'm going to add 1 egg, and I've got one of these packets of brown gravy mix. This stuff is good. You can also use au jus mix, but I think this gravy, I think it's a little thicker, so that's what I'm going to use. Alright, get me a whisk. And we'll just mix this up just a little bit. Occasionally check on your onions. They're coming to be pretty good looking brown right now. They're not almost finished just yet. Okay, from that I'm going to add about 1 3/4 cups of beef stock. And give this a good mix until all that's mixed up in there. Look at that beautiful brown color. That's the color you want with your gravy. And when we mix all this up in the crock pot, man, it's going to make those Salisbury steaks taste really good. Okay, give it a squirt of Worcestershire, that stuff. And just a squirt of ketchup. And to further thicken it, I'm going to add the remainder of flour that I used to dredge my meat in. And you just beat this up until it's all mixed. You want to get all that raw flour taste out of there. And when it's all mixed up, we'll start assembling this in our crock pot. Once your onions are done and your sauce is made, what we want to do is take our patties and we're just going to kind of set them in the bottom of the crock pot. Just kind of pyramid them up. Leaning up against each other, that will assure that they get coverage on all sides once we put the sauce in there. So, let's start adding our sauce. Look at that, man. It's ending up to be about 2.5 cups of sauce. Just make sure they're covered. And if at the end of this you find that your sauce is not quite the thickness that you like, you can also add some cornstarch. Let's go ahead and add our softened onions. We'll set this on low for about 4 to 5 hours. I'll see you then. Right, it's been 4.5 hours. And I say we plate up our Salisbury steak. Look at that, look at that. This is going to be so good. Oh, look at that gravy. Let's put some of this gravy on our taters. Man, look at that. Some of them onions. Oh, look at that. Tell you what, I'm even going to go a step farther. How about some gravy on some bread? Look at that. Oh yeah. We're going all out tonight, folks. Southern comfort food Salisbury steak. Guarantee you it's not the banquet TV dinner variety. How about that? Alright. We'll serve this up with some corn on the cob, some mashed taters. So let's give this a taste test and see how we did in this slow cooker. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Look at that right there. Oh my goodness. Much better than the banquet TV dinner. I'm gonna have some gravy and bread. I used to do this all the time. My dad used to do this. I miss my dad's cooking. That gravy is so good. Oh, goodness gracious. Tell you what, guys. You can do this. Go about your business, go to work, leave it on 4 or 5 hours. It'll be ready when you get home. You can serve it up. And I'll show you what else I'm going to have tonight. 'Cause what goes better than Salisbury steak comfort food? Tell you what. Check this out. I made me a chocolate shake. Let's put a cherry on top. And how about some chocolate sprinkles? How about that? Alright guys, till next time. This was fun doing this. I hope you give it a try. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.